But we have some time here. We wanted to get this in, our MLB All-Star voting. And one guy I did want to note before we got into it, who's having an absolute historic season, is Aaron Judge. He is putting up historic numbers. He leads the league in batting average, on base, slugging, OPS, hits, and WAR. Anyone who's not a huge stat nerd about baseball, WAR is a really good stat to show just your production, your value to the team, and getting wins above replacement. So he's among the league leaders in home runs, tied for the league lead in RBIs. These are the type of seasons we would see from like a Ted Williams back in the 40s and 50s with this kind of average and this kind of power. A lot of the ones we think about are left-handers. When we think Ted Williams, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, all the greats from the past who would have seasons like this. The best right-handed hitter I've ever seen is Albert Pujols with the St. Louis Cardinals in his decade of exceptional hitting in the 2000s, where he was always hitting above 300, 40 plus RBI or 40 plus home runs, 100 plus RBIs. And as Paul O'Neill said, the Yankees broadcaster, he stated that fans are watching one of the best players ever in action, and I don't disagree. His at-bats are must-see TV. Quick thoughts on Judge's season. I know we had Shohei last year with the 50-50 season. This is right up there with one of the greatest seasons so far, up to this point at least.
Yeah, I think I called it earlier in the year whenever we did baseball first. Obviously, I didn't expect this, but yeah, I mean, the only thing I got to say is just hope it continues in the postseason for his sake, because that was the big nip on him last year. Was that he kind of faltered in the World Series against the Dodgers. But I mean, not to think about that. I mean, yeah, it's truly historic. I mean, Yankees can get annoying because like they had all the market media attention stuff, but I mean, just ignore that. If you just watch Judge play baseball, I mean, it's just it's amazing to watch, really.
Yeah. So let's get into our All-Star voting. We'll go down the list here. First, second, third base, shortstop, catcher, the three outfielders for each league, and then the designated hitter. This is phase one, the fan voting for just the position players. So let's start with first base. So for my first base for the AL, I went with Spencer Torkelson. Um, Playing for the Detroit Tigers, they're having an exceptional year. He's having a great year, both production wise and on base wise. His average is really low, which is one thing that hurts him. But for a first baseman, it's not as important to me. It's more about having power stats. So he gets my vote for first base. And on the NL side, I think it's pretty clear this has to be Pete Alonso. With the 295 average, he is also leading first baseman in home runs and RBIs with 17 and 63 respectively. And he is the top of the first basemen in the National League with OPS. So he leads in all three of those categories. Right now, Freddie Freeman's actually ahead of him in the voting. But I think, again, average is not a huge thing for first base. Freddie Freeman's got that 333 average, which is great. But at first base, if you got a 295, but with these power stats, you get my vote. So I got Pete Alonso at first. Who you got first?
Yeah, for the AL, I went with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Decent stats so far this year. And then, yeah, you could probably guess who my NL will. I was also looking at Pete Alonso, but yes, the guy you also mentioned, Freddie Freeman, is my. Yeah, I mean, when I was doing this, I was mostly I mean, I know you're more of a baseball guy than I am, but batting average and home runs. Home runs. I mean, home runs is obviously a great stat. But if this is All-Star, you want it to be showtime. You want guys who can hit it. But batting average is more of like who actually deserves it, because who's more consistent at bat. So those are the two I looked at. But yeah, like I said, yeah, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for the Toronto Blue Jays for the AL, and Freddie Freeman of the Dodgers.
All right. Second base for the AL. I did this last week, and some stats have changed since then, so I updated my list here. But initially, I had Gleyber Torres of the Detroit Tigers. I was really getting those Tigers players in there because they've had such a successful season. But reevaluating, getting some more updated stats, I went ahead with the Twins' Willie Castro. 283 batting average, 7 home runs, 17 RBIs, and an 830 OPS, which 830 OPS does lead all second basemen in the AL. NL, pretty easy. I think it's Ketel Marte. Got a good average, leads in OPS, and I know he's really good in the field as well, and has pretty good production stats with 12 home runs and 23 RBIs. I did give a look to Brendan Donovan because I am a Cardinals fan. That 323 batting average is really good, and he's third in OPS. But I went with an all-around better hitter with Ketel Marte. Who you got at second?
Yeah, I went batting average for both. So your Cardinals boy, Brendan Donovan, is on my NL. He's my NL second baseman, and then the guy you mentioned, Gleyber Torres, is of the Detroit Tigers. He is my American League second baseman.
Right. Third base. So this should be a fun one. We got a couple guys on the AL side putting up pretty good seasons here with Alex Bregman and Jose Ramirez. I went tried and true with Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians. 319 batting average, 13 home runs, 34 RBIs, and that 915 OPS, which just sits behind Bregman's 938. I just think a couple more home runs, slightly better batting average. It's close. You could go either one here. They are 1 and 2 in the voting right now for third base on the AL side, but I'm going to go tried and true with Jose Ramirez. On the National League side, I considered Eugenio Suarez because of his third base leading home runs and RBIs with 21 and 58, but that 233 batting average, I already had one guy in Spencer Torkelson with a bad average. For third base, I would like the average to be a little bit better. So I'm going Manny Machado with 316 batting, 11 home runs, 45 RBIs, and that 885 OPS, which does lead third baseman in the National League. Who you got?
Yeah, you took my two guys. So
oh, nice.
Alex Bregman, I guess, is who I'll go with for third base for the AL, and then Suarez for the Diamondbacks for the AL.
Hey, that's cool. We're like-minded for third base. You can keep the Jose Ramirez.
I wrote two guys. I wrote two guys for each. Two guys for each position for the AL and NL, and then obviously I put the guy I liked better first. But if you take him, I'm going with the other guys.
Alrighty, shortstop. This is a fun one, especially on the AL side because we got a newcomer here that I'm going with, and that's Jacob Wilson. 360 batting average, incredible stuff at the plate. He only has 8 home runs and 38 RBIs, but for shortstop, that's really good. He does lead in OPS, and he's actually a legacy kid. So his father actually played in the league as well at that same position. So pretty cool stuff on the AL side. On the National League side, this is another one that I changed my selection on. I initially had Francisco Lindor of the New York Mets. After some updated stats coming into this week, I am deciding to go with Elly De La Cruz of the Cincinnati Reds. I think this is we're getting him in to a starting All-Star role this year. He's had an exceptional year, 270 batting, 845 OPS that leads shortstops in the NL, 16 home runs, 50 RBIs, which does lead all shortstops in the National League at this point. He actually isn't in either the top 2 spots for shortstop right now as far as voting, but hopefully my vote, among others, can get him there. Who you got at short?
Yeah, I was really debating the NL between the two guys you mentioned. I actually put Lindor first. He would have been my pick over Elly De La Cruz, but I really did consider switching that. And then for the AL, I had Wilson first, but I have Jeremy Pena of the Houston Astros second. He's second in batting average for the AL at 317, and he has 9 home runs, which is one more than Wilson. Yeah, and he's third in All-Star voting, I believe, for right now.
Yeah, he's putting up a really good season as well for the Houston Astros. Let's go to catcher. This is my position. Love this position. AL is fun because it's pretty cut and dry here. Cal Raleigh, big dumper for the Seattle Mariners, putting up a 266 batting average, 27 home runs, 60 RBIs, and a 995 OPS. Just a great season at the plate for a position that it's hard to get that kind of production from. On the NL side, so Goodman from the Colorado Rockies seems to lead in a lot of the top stats. But I take his stats with a grain of salt because he is playing most of his games at Coors Field. So I dropped those stats a little bit as far as the home runs and RBIs. And I'm going with Will Smith of the Los Angeles Dodgers. The 330 batting average sticks out to me for a catcher, and the 947 OPS and the 40 RBIs. That's my catcher for the NL. Who you got?
Yep, that was, you mentioned both my guys. The Cal Raleigh, Clear. I mean, Clear is really no second. I feel like no Clear. I mean, there's a second place. I mean, there's no clear guy who could overtake him. But I went with second. I went with Alejandro Kirk of the Toronto Blue Jays. Only has 5 home runs, but his batting average, I believe he is leading the all catchers in batting average. Yes, he is at 307. So in the AL. So he is my AL catcher. And then, I mean, you got to go by stats. I know it's the Rockies. I know they suck. I know they play at high elevation, but I mean, if you put up good stats, I mean, you deserve a spot. So, I mean, Hunter Goodman of the Colorado Rockies. Since I can't get Jaden Smith's dad, I will take Hunter Goodman.
Yeah, and it is still a good season for a team otherwise irrelevant. So get him in there. Hopefully, he can get an All-Star spot. For the outfield, as we've already mentioned, this has been an incredible season from Aaron Judge. Got to get him in. Clear number 1 in the outfield for the American League. My other 2 spots are going to go to Riley Green of the Detroit Tigers and Byron Buxton of the Minnesota Twins. So I wanted to get some speed with Buxton. He has good hitting stats as well. So no, not too big of a deal there. He does have a 273 batting average, and he is second in OPS. Green is third in OPS, so it's boom, boom, boom right there for the AL side. He's putting up, with Riley Green, 15 home runs, 51 RBIs, a great season for him as well. On the NL side, I know Ronald Acuna, his stats look really good, batting 400, 1.2 on the OPS, 8 home runs, 14 RBIs. And so those stats are clear to me that he hasn't played a lot. He's only played maybe a month's worth of games since coming back from injury. So I'm not going to quite give him the spot over guys that have played double, triple the amount of games up to this point. On my NL side, I do have Corbin Carroll of the Diamondbacks, James Wood of the Washington Nationals, and a breakout performance for a Chicago Cub named Pete Crow Armstrong. Incredible season from him. I know Tucker is getting actually getting a lot of votes as well, but they're actually 1 and 2 on the voting currently. I left Tucker out just because I had to get in 3 guys, and the 3 guys I got were Wood, Carroll, and Armstrong. So who do you got for the NL and AL on outfield?
Okay, starting with the AL. Yeah, so you're obviously better than me if you have Judge. So guys that are left over, I'm going to go Stephen Kwan of the Cleveland Guardians. Not many. It's only 6 home runs, but he's batting average just under 300 at 298.
Good hit for average.
Which is second behind Aaron Judge in the AL amongst outfielders. So it's weird. So Mike Trout's getting votes for. He still plays outfield because on the MLB stats he's listed as a designated hitter.
Oh yeah, I think they put him in right field before the season started. So yeah, he is
okay. So then I'm taking Mike Trout then. I mean he's not putting up like one of his absolute monster seasons, but I mean he's still Mike Trout and he's still up there. So he's my other guy, and then who's the other guy I went with? Oh yeah, Kerry Carpenter of the Detroit Tigers. 13 home runs, batting average 260, not bad. Needed some guy with more home runs than they usually takes. Without Judge, he was the guy I went with. Okay, yeah, for the NL, obviously Kyle Tucker. You left him there. I'll take him. Juan Soto. I will also be taking Juan Soto of the New York Mets, and I also went with there's lots of Dodgers to pick from, but Andy, say his last name.
Crow Armstrong, picking him too.
Andy Pages, yeah.
Okay. Pages.
Andy Pages, yeah. 15 home runs. I mean, he's 15 home runs, and he's leading the in batting average amongst National League outfielders, 293. Figure that's good value. A Dodger that doesn't get as much attention as some of the others, but still really good.
Perfect. Let's go to designated here for our final All-Star spot. So initially, and I'm kind of glad that we put off the podcast till today, because Rafael Devers was my initial selection for AL designated hitter from the Boston Red Sox. He is now a San Francisco Giant and is not even listed on the AL side. So I had scrounge around for my next best guy, and that's going to be Brent Rooker of the Oakland A's, or not Oakland, just A's. 276 batting average, leads the AL in home runs as far as designated hitters with 15, 41 RBIs, 841 OPS. And then on the NL side, I'm going to just have to boot off Devers because guess what? Shohei Ohtani's on here. So 296 average, 25 home runs, 43 RBIs, and one dotting on the OPS. Obviously leading NL votes on designated hitter. Who you got?
I mean, it's Rooker and Devers is because I still have Devers stats up for the American League, but a very similar. Both have 15 home runs. Rooker actually has a slightly better batting average than Devers, so may have actually picked the statistically better player. But I'm just gonna go batting average here. Ryan O'Hearn of the Baltimore Orioles still has 10 home runs, so that's not bad. But he's leading the AL designated hitters in average 305. And obviously, Ohtani is really good, and he'd be my main choice. But I am actually going to go with the Chicago Cub. I don't want to say his name wrong.
Kea?
Suzuki.
Seiya Suzuki?
Yes. Seiya Suzuki. Hold on, let me pull up his stats because I did this. I didn't write any of my notes down. I mean, I had reasons to. Just home runs. Yeah, so he's the second behind Ohtani in home runs. He has 18 home runs. Batting average isn't horrible. It's 261. So, and the Cubs are doing good this year. So, I figured if I can't get Ohtani, I'll take. I assume he's Japanese too, so I'll take his Japanese.
There you go. There you go. Well, that'll do it for our MLB All-Star voting for Phase 1.